YouTube, and welcome to the Capcast. Before we get started, just drop a little like on this video, and
Tell us, do you like
that would just
zombie games? Or are you tired of them? Do you think they should have
that's
been
it.
abandoned?
Zombie
It sounds like
games.
I'm not having fun, but I did.
So if that wasn't a clue, we're gonna talk about the new Dead Island. Spoiler alert: it is not on an island so far as we've played. However, it's been fun. Um,
Nice. But welcome to the Capcast. I'm Naiwal.
and I am Tunnelsnakesfool.
And how are you doing? What's going on?
What's going
Guys,
on?
guys, listen. I know there's probably some die-hard cappers out there. That's your new names. You're cappers now.
They're cappers.
Or capers.
They're
I
wearing
don't
the
know.
cap.
I don't know if I
Get
like
caps made.
ironically.
Caps.
They have to
Yeah.
be in the shape of a bottle cap though. Like a bucket.
Bucket hat.
Like a bucket hat. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're on the
Um
same page.
anyway, to all these cappers who would be like, hey, you know what? How many episodes? What's going on? Guys, you know what? We're human beings and we get tired sometimes. And also, there's not been a whole lot interesting. We're still not sure what to be talking about. Like we had like a nice little 5-minute discussion. Like, should we just talk about Dead Island or should we talk about some other news? And honestly, I was just like, I had so much fun with Dead Island that it's like the only thing I want to talk about right now.
Yeah, we played Dead Island for 4 hours straight on a school night.
Yeah.
But
I stayed
yeah.
up till 3 a.m. On my end.
No, it was
which-
4.
Oh,
It was
it
4,
was.
'cause I went to bed
Yeah,
after
that's right.
2.
It was like 4:30, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
It was weird. So, oh, yeah, dang. Anyway,
So-
yeah, we stayed up late.
We liked it. And that's what we're gonna talk about this episode. Do you wanna pop the top?
Pop the top.
Wow, that was great timing, honestly.
I don't even know if you'll need to use the sound effect.
I know, you did it for me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, so Naiwal and I got together and we played Dead Island for a good solid 4 hours.
Yeah.
Stayed up way later than I think either of us were intending, and because it was fun. Like,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, the game is pretty good.
Like we're not even to be like, oh, it's the game, blah blah blah. Not even anything like that. It's just good, mindless. Can you hear
heard
that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Wow. Someone probably
Wheeling
just
out.
crashed. Or
Oh.
something, man. I don't know. Eesh. Anyway. If there's a zombie, I'll kill him. And
Oh, it's giving me a flashback.
anyway, yeah, they're what was I even saying? Oh yeah, it's not like some kind of like new game that like pushes the boundaries to like
No.
something. No, but it's just good mindless fun. You turn your brain off, goof around, kill some zombies, man.
Yeah, and like if I played I think it was the first Dead Island because I didn't play the other thing.
The Riptide.
No, I didn't play that one, but yeah, I mean, it had a lot of the elements I really liked from it, and it was fun, and I just like modding weapons with electricity and fire. It's a good time.
I've been having fun with that as well. What did I do earlier? I found a bat, and then I was just like, you know what happens if I just go full force and just like make the force ridiculous? And yeah, I've been just sending people out of there. It's like the World Series 20 whatever bat from Fallout 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the weapons are fun. Honestly, too, I think like you said, it's definitely not breaking any. It's not like a crazy new thing or anything like that. And of course, zombie games at this point feel done and done. But I mean, there's a lot of detail in the little vignettes that you get to explore, which is
And
kinda
it is a
cool.
pretty
Like,
game. It is a pretty
it's
game.
really pretty. I mean, it takes place in LA area, so I mean that's a pretty area of California. There's a lot of palms. Got the
Which
beautiful
I have a
sunsets.
theory why it's called Dead Island, even though it takes place in LA.
No, tell us your theory. I want to hear
Which
it.
I
I mean,
think
we haven't
I think
played
I
past
told
this
you. I
point.
think I told you when we were playing, but I was like, because there's all the
You
earthquakes
did.
happening, and there's the whole thought of the San Andreas vault, and then if or fault or whatever
Fault.
fault. I said vault. Get out of here, nerd. You're distracting me. And the San Andreas fault that
Mhm.
enough earthquakes eventually will split off from the mainland America, and then it'll be its own thing. So
Mhm.
that's my thought process to it. I was like, it's probably going to turn into an island because there's so many earthquakes happening. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, the earthquakes seem to be a constant feature throughout the game. And then also, I mean, your character, spoiler alert, is bit and is seemingly immune. And there's also like a lot of like, I don't know if you've noticed this, like
Pulsing
where it's like
vision.
pulsing, yeah,
Hmm.
redness in the eyes. It's very odd. So those are the two big things that are happening. I
I
had a
get like
theory,
that
I
when I
thought of
get
after the
heartburn.
fact. Um, my theory, obviously, you guys can go play more of the game. I'm sure people have beaten it at this point already, but I was like, is California getting nuked? Because that was like a feature in the previous game is they blew up the island, like I wonder, is that what's causing these crazy earthquakes? Would that cause crazy earthquakes? Like, why is it happening simultaneously with this zombie apocalypse, So that was my theory I thought of after the fact, and we're gonna find out. But
Yeah, we'll find out together, and we'll update y'all if either one of us was right. Y'all probably already know.
yeah,
And it's like you just Google it. We could too, but we're
I
not
don't
gonna
want
because
to.
we're good
Yeah,
sports. That's how we operate here.
I
Um,
wanna, but I mean, it's a fun game, and it's really, like you said, really pretty and really detailed. And it's the Unreal Engine, which I thought, oh, we were just talking about that not too long ago. Um,
which and if anyone's wondering, yes, we did record this session of playing, and we'll probably, you know what? I think I'd like to record a little bit more because I know we're gonna play the
okay,
rest together. But I was
yeah,
like, I'd be happy to record the rest of it together.
hmm
Um,
I
but
do.
yeah,
I want
so
to.
we'll be uploading two different kinds of videos to our individual channels, and then like a longer video of our play session here on the Capcast YouTube channel. So if you're
Yeah,
listening
with
to
our
us
with our
on,
commentary,
yeah, so which as
which is
wild as that is, it's very just goofy. Nothing makes sense. We're saying things, but I don't think we're even processing what we're saying half the time. It is pretty good.
we were okay. See, that was the other part of the game that I liked so much. Was it gives you a lot of opportunity to mess around within the world, breaking windows, doing silly things. We were jumping off roofs into pools, like trying to see like what you could do specifically. Like, can you kick a zombie to death? Can't, things like that. So
Both
there's just like a
both of
lot of
us
those
just
fun things.
huddled, kicking a zombie in the head,
Yeah.
and then looking at our next target and just like if you've seen the Smiling Friends, I felt like those little pink guys.
I
It's like you're next.
I mean, it I mean, you were saying this beforehand, but like I think it's such a I was like, "Oh my God, co-op games are fun." I forgot, Obviously you can play alone. It's definitely more challenging playing alone. I just tried a couple minutes ago and I was like, I'm
It's
dying a lot.
challenging for her.
Yeah, it is.
Listen, let's not beat around the bush on this, okay? Any success we had was,
Oh yeah. Sure.
oh yeah. Do you remember the
How many
boss that
times
we
did you
that we
electrocute
killed?
me on accident?
Did I electrocute you?
A couple times.
Well, that was, that's just a price to pay for success.
Well,
Okay.
like the consequences to dying in the game are very minimal too. Like
Yeah.
just the little
Which
checkpoint you went through
I think that
resets, and
helps
that's
with
it.
co-op 100% because it's just like, oh, we died. We don't have to go all the way back to the beginning of whatever.
Yeah,
We just sprint over there real quick. Oh, we can continue the fight with the big guy that we were just getting wailed on by. So,
yeah. I like
but
that after you die, they're eating your corpse when you
yeah,
respawn.
you see the blood stain. It's
Yeah,
just like, it's like, how insulting, how rude.
it
I get
is.
it. We died. Now we got to kill you again. No, it's I I don't know. I enjoy the just playing together aspect. I can't remember the last time where I just like I have a friend that I play so many games with, like Monster Hunter. We've been playing Diablo 3 recently because she never played it.
Hmm.
And it's just I don't know. I love when people love the co-op elements of their games whenever they're working on them, to where it's not
Hmm.
whenever it's too difficult to start co-op. That always sucks. Like, I think of like Elden Ring, like it was this open world masterpiece, and then co-op was there, but there were some hoops you had to jump through just to do it instead of just seamless co-op, which the modders have already done their job there. And it even goes as far as
Hmm.
modders adding co-op to games that have never had co-op to begin with.
Like Breath of the Wild. I don't know if you've seen that.
Don't talk
Uh,
about it. Don't say
don't
it.
talk
Don't
about Breath
think
of the
it.
Wild.
Don't say it. Don't think it.
Um,
The
yeah.
bye bye man.
It's okay, Nintendo. We're not talking about Breath of the Wild. We're talking
Did
about
you just say
breathing
their
whilst in the
name?
wild.
It is like he who shall not be named. You can't just bring that up
It's like
casually.
Beetlejuice. You can't. We're gonna summon an NDA or not an NDA.
Summon
They're
it
gonna.
in the copyright strike. We're gonna summon a copyright strike. We were gonna talk about them, but I was like, nah, let's just talk about the game. But here we
Yeah,
are talking about
here
it.
we are. I mean, it's because of the co-op, and that's part of why all that's happening. Basically, they're taking down people's posts about their games, which is sad. Because there's a lot of funny stuff you can do in Breath of the Wild.
Well, right before what their new Legend of
Yeah,
Zelda game comes
a
out, like
brand
what
new one. Like,
comes out May
oh
12th.
yeah,
It comes out on my birthday. That's right.
that's a pretty
I,
good birthday gift.
I'm not getting it.
You're not getting
I'll be
it?
real with you. A lot of times, like I like certain Legend of Zelda games, but even now, like whenever I try to play, I get bored. I get bored. Like it's
It's so
very
much
pretty.
fun.
It is fun, but I get bored. There's nothing wrong with the game. I would never say, "Oh, it's so boring. It doesn't deserve like some game of the year thing." I understand that it is a good game. I cannot get my brain to play through it. It's like the same thing with The Witcher 3. I have tried to start that game so many times, and like I've started it, and then I get to like the griffin or the hippogriff or whatever, and I kill it, and then I stop playing every freaking time after that.
Are you a completionist with games, or
I
are you just
am. I am
okay?
a
So that's
completionist.
that's out of the norm for you then.
It's very out of the norm.
That's
And
interesting. So for Breath of the Wild, is it a do you not like puzzles or
no,
is it
I
just
love puzzles.
too
Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like
yeah. Is it too
it's
redundant? Is that why? Because I mean it is a
no,
lot of just shrine.
I think
I love
like
that game.
in some senses, like with open world games, because it is open world, like
Hmm.
I okay, put it this way. I have completed 100% um Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And in the same light, I've not completed, you know, um Breath of the Wild. And for some reason, I cannot tell you why I cannot just finish it. I
Hmm.
have no idea. There's plenty of things to appreciate. Taming wild horses, even in that scope. Red Dead Redemption 2, 100% that game. Some would say there's more empty space in Red Dead Redemption 2 and less to do than in Breath of the Wild. But I did it, and I don't know if it was because I had more of a character connection, and like I appreciated these characters and the setting that was already in.
Hmm.
And I think about like Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I've beat that game. I used to speed run Majora's Mask. Like I enjoyed those games, and for some reason, I cannot figure out why I can't do.
I love it's one of my favorite. It's very comforting because it's like a cute, wholesome game. I really enjoy that element of it. And then, I don't know. It's cute. It is definitely reminds me of early pandemic because that's when I played it the most. That and Animal Crossing, which I there's probably roaches in my house in Animal Crossing right now because I haven't touched it in like a year. But
God.
you know, when you leave it, the roaches get in there.
Speaking of, it's like I have Animal Crossing as well. I started it and then I stopped it, and then I came back and I didn't even have a house or anything. Like I didn't even save like that.
Oh
So I was like,
no.
oh wow. I was like, well, whatever. Okay.
Oh no, I mean like I had like golden roses and all the, you know, the everything that was like difficult to get where you have to like breed things because I was time traveling, which if you don't know what time traveling is, it's when you change the clock on your Switch because it's like a real-time game, you know. So, um
You know what else was like that? Fable. Fable was like that.
I
If you
time
want to make a
travel
bunch of money, you
in
just.
Fallout Shelter too.
I
You can
thought
time
that was
travel.
connected to the internet. I
It,
didn't think you could do that.
yeah, on the Switch.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right.
Yep. The Switch is ideal for time traveling in all these like freemium type games.
I'm gonna get into Elder Scrolls Blades real hard. I'm gonna put buku money into that game because it is pay to win. I don't care what anyone says. It's an
Really?
awful game. Elder Scrolls Blade is a horrible game.
I haven't even. I looked because I was doing research for a video and I was like, they made another mobile game?
It's a
Huh.
trap. It's a
I didn't even
freaking
know.
trap. All that to say, what these games lack multiplayer or co-op.
Yeah, I know we're ranting. People like our rants though.
It's
So
okay. That's all good.
I I am so the I think one of the bigger questions for me is I was like the zombie genre, is it having a renaissance or is it just like we're still doing it?
Let's take that perspective because we're having I feel like we're getting different takes of a zombie genre because we got Redfall
Hmm.
coming out versus survive this kind of
Yeah.
apocalypse. And I don't even know.
I don't like because between the show we will not speak of because we've already spoken on it too many times. Go watch all those
But they
episodes.
make it very clear they got zombies.
Yeah, but like this whole like because a lot of these games came out in the early 20 teens and now they're getting their sequels or they're getting a television adaptation, like things like that. I'm like, we're but it's to the point where are people still into zombie? I mean, like we're playing it and we like it, but it's kind of it's a super known quantity, you know, and to the point when you and I, as we're talking about Dead Island, we're like, is this a bloater or a floater? Like all of these
I
games have
know.
like
They
different
have the
versions of the
same
same
kind
things.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
because I know what they had Boomer for Left 4 Dead
Yeah, and
and
they had they
tanks and witches, which had the same effect that the screamers do, except they don't hurt you with their scream, but they definitely can kill you in one hit.
and walkers, runners, like every single like I understand all zombies basically all, you know, derived from similar source material, stuff like that, but it is to the point where the market for zombie games is so inundated. You're like, I can't even remember. Like, we
I
couldn't remember.
saw,
Were there cars in the original?
yeah, I didn't play enough of the original to really recall properly. Ironically,
There
whenever I was,
definitely were.
I don't know, I was looking at some pictures of my kid, and because they were all on Facebook, and then since I was on there, someone had posted something like the best or the most terrifying zombies are Day of the Dead zombies or Night of the Living Dead zombies, something like
Right.
that. And then they said, and then second place is 28 days later. I said, not even close. I was like, how is 28 days later second place in terms of scary? World War Z zombies are terrifying. They freaking they freaking
Hmm.
made a zombie wall to climb the big wall.
Yeah, that was
No.
didn't like.
But then okay, here's this. Um I Am Legend. Those are
Oh,
vampires. Those are vampires.
right? Yeah,
Those
they
are
can't go
vampires.
out,
They can't go out in the
and they're still
daytime
somewhat
and they
cogent.
need
Like,
blood. And they
yeah,
need blood. They're freaking vampires.
And they have like a social structure. I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
watched all the alternative endings
Yeah,
of that.
like they had an
Um,
alpha and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and similar, I mean, they had he had the lighting to hurt them, which was I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was, gonna be similar to a certain game that's coming out pretty soon here.
Yeah, I
So
thought there was, I don't know. I was like, I feel like there's plenty of zombies that are scarier than Night of the Living Dead, nerds. I'm such a
yeah,
film aficionado. I'm such a snob to admit whenever there's a much more terrifying zombie outbreak out there.
I think conceptually for me, Walking Dead version of zombies is the freakiest, only because if you die, so long as your brain's okay, you still come back as one. Like that concept is so scary to me. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
When
that is
people were
true.
dying of like basically COVID
They
in
just
they're
they all
coming
get back
back.
up. See, since we started playing Dead Island, would you ever be interested in playing Dead Rising 2
Is
co-op
it
with
jump
me?
scary? Because that's
No.
something I'm liking about
Mm-mm.
Dead Island is it has not been very jump scary.
Dead Rising 2. So I will say this, and I stand by this forever, which we already talked about Dead Rising, Frank West versus Leon Kennedy. Dead Rising is the best zombie apocalypse game or genre game there's ever been. I'll argue with you in the comments and I will show you why you are definitively wrong. Um,
Mm.
because I've not seen a game match. Oh, actually, I
You're gonna
take that
argue with
back.
yourself right now.
Project Zomboid. That's another game we should probably check out too. And
Okay.
that is like 20 times more stressful. And it's all on the computer. So I would love to play that with you.
Okay.
But yeah.
I don't know. I like zombie games a lot. I loved the original Dead Island and this one's holding up for me. I don't know. It definitely there's a lot of opportunity to play with like friends. I wonder like the we only had one random person hop into the lobby.
And then they left.
Yeah, when we started breaking windows repeatedly.
Yeah. We
Um
were having fun. Listen, that's just
yeah,
what we do.
we were goofing.
Because we
Um
broke into an influencer house.
yes.
That was fun
The
to explore.
the goat.
I think I sent you the clip of someone reading the apology on the
Oh no.
whiteboard. For
On TikTok, I
anyone,
haven't checked today.
yeah. So for anyone who hasn't even like seen anything about Dead Island, but like it's in LA, and we
Yeah.
start off in like the hills, kind of,
Yeah.
and and we go into an influencer house, and they have like all these like setups for different podcasts or different streams and stuff, and then they have like meeting rooms, and then one of them was a whiteboard that had an apology script written on it.
Hmm.
I said, "I'm
Basically
so
saying they weren't
sorry.
taking it the zombie apocalypse seriously.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry we did take the evacuation seriously. I'm sorry to my fans, but most importantly, I'm sorry to my sponsors."
yeah.
Yeah.
Evacuate. I thought, yeah, no, I liked that. There's so many little details like that because we were going room to room and being like, oh, what's this room? This is like the Mr. Beast area. Like,
Mhm.
this is the makeup girly, that kind of thing. I thought that was interesting. There
No
is one
OnlyFans
thing,
room. We
no
checked.
OnlyFans. We looked. There's no secret little OnlyFans dungeon. Um, they could have done it. They could have done it. Um, the thing I want you to do still is they had a big mural on one of the walls of them holding their version of a YouTube award. And like bleeding out of the mouth.
Squirmers.
A squirmer award. What's that thing above your head?
Oh, that's my YouTube award.
You gotta recreate it.
It looks so big. Even right there. What the heck?
It is. Nah, you're just trying to flex right now. He's just flexing. He's like W up here. I thought that was interesting. I think it's funny to go through there. It was funny to go through there as like people who create content on some level because
Yeah,
it is a criticism a little bit, which I
I
thought was kind of
know.
funny. Cringing a little.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I honestly think I give my full personality
Yeah.
whenever I make videos and even do the podcast. It's like the only thing that happens is like I apply a filter and I'm just like, I'm just not going to talk about this. And, like this is usually what
Yeah.
happens, you know.
Yeah.
Y'all get a filtered version of me. Y'all don't get to know everything.
Yeah. Y'all
If you
don't
want
get
to
to
know everything, join. My WhatsApp is, and I'll tell you my secrets.
oh god, yeah, so the thing I'm missing, and I told you this yesterday, is like the bigger like lobbies of people. Like I'm like having so much fun playing with you. Obviously, we're like on a call too, so it's not like a silent rando.
Yeah.
But when I played the original and I got so many gifts as someone who has a female voice. I just so many people were giving me awesome weapons. That's what I'm missing from the game. There's no one hopping into these like lobbies or whatever, you know. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm
I
I'm
want the
still carrying
presents.
you. It's all good.
You're not. I am holding myself.
I
Quasi.
destroyed that boss before bed. That was
That was
your
weird.
boy. I said, "Gah, gah." He was out of there.
The
Was it a
bigger guy,
fluke? Maybe.
maybe it might have been. Play the tape pack. I want to see because that we were both like, "What the hell?" It took longer to get here than to fight that one guy.
It did.
Because essentially how like the enemies are introduced is like it seems like with the main quest each major boss battle is seemingly introducing a newer enemy, so it's like the brute, I think that's what they're called, the bigger ones who smack the ground, and then that was a floater, and then the next one is like a screamer, which I don't know if that's what it's called, but it was scary. Her name was Nikki.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The zombie's name was Nikki, just so you know. Yeah, but the challenging the challenging thing I feel like so far has been just the bigger guy. Those ones are a little harder, especially when you have shitty weapons. But
See, I don't know. Whenever I was playing earlier, I had like the weakened effect to
mm,
him like twice, and then I just like charged up the bat and 770 damage. Then did it again, 770 damage. He was dead. Just
yeah,
finding one of them out in the street. So I was like, this is interesting. The
mm,
scaling. The
yeah. And then there's the people who can kind of like one hit you randomly
Oh yeah,
throughout.
that's because they have the skull and that
Yeah,
they're over leveled. They're too high a level for you, so you shouldn't be messing with them. But we do it anyway because
yeah,
stun lock, kick, hit, stun lock.
yeah. Drop kicking. Um, the drop kicking was we were having a lot of fun. I don't know. I like the game overall. The complaints I've heard have been like it's slow, the combat's slow. I guess the thing is, someone was mentioning this in my server earlier today. They were like, "Yeah, I hear it's slow, but and like you don't get ranged right away." I don't know when we're gonna get ranged. We haven't even seen them
You
yet,
know,
but
I
the
thinking on
mechanics of
this,
them exploding is so
like
humaling, you
the
know?
body just gets peeled away as you're hitting them and stuff. It's very cool.
I mean,
Um,
like, they'll be alive, still fighting you, and the mandible will be like hanging off of their
hanging
face, you
off,
know?
it's just
Yeah,
like dangling. It's like, bro, I mean, I've knocked someone's whole jaw off, and they're just like, they're only top teeth,
yeah.
and they
We
go,
made an Among Us guy yesterday.
just the neck nub,
Yeah,
just the bone popping out of the,
it
the
looked like a bone. It looked. I know it was a spinal column, but it really did look like just the Among Us bone. It was cracking me up.
it did. Now, I was gonna say, with when people make these comments like, "Oh, it's slow," whatever. I realize, and this is just probably just a critique on gaming culture as a whole. Is now everyone is a critic.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone's a critic. And it's not a bad thing to be critical of a game. It's not. I think it becomes a bad thing whenever you're so overly critical that you start ruining fun for yourself.
yeah,
Whenever you start analyzing, oh, I think I can see a little pixel blur here, or oh, it's just it's not so smooth. What is this? It's
Right.
2023. Why isn't it smooth? It's just you look at think about whenever you played a game for as a kid. You weren't
Yeah.
you weren't looking at those things. And a lot of people wonder where did the fun in gaming goes? And this is where it is. Whenever you started getting onto YouTube and X Play was really big and everyone had some kind of review for a game. And I really want to say, when did we really start getting like burned by a game? What was the first game that the internet was scorned by?
Or the internet scorned.
Or the internet scorned. Yeah.
Um,
Burned by but scorned. There we go.
okay, so in my memory, a lot of people were, and now looking back, like you don't see it, but it's a different generation. But people hated New Vegas when it came out. It did not get good.
Really?
It got bad, terrible reviews at first because it was pretty messed up when it came out. It was buggy as hell, and they did a few patches within the first few months that fixed it up quite a bit. But people were pissed when New Vegas came out, and now that it's like Gen Z playing New Vegas, they weren't. I mean, hopefully they weren't playing it. Really,
Mm.
it's not exactly age appropriate, but your parents let you do whatever you want. I don't care. But now that they're playing it as adults or young adults, they're like, "Oh, this is the best game ever," blah blah blah, and you're like, "Oh my God!" When it came out, it was loathed by a lot of people just because it was a crappy launch. And I mean, it's similar with Cyberpunk had a similar launch, which I didn't care. It was fine. It
Which
was glitchy, but it was fine.
now in that okay, now I will say like in that regard, what what was definitely bad about that was the fact that they said it was going to work on PS4 and Xbox One.
And it didn't work on.
And it didn't work on that. And that was like a failed promise. And it was like super subpar compared to what it should have been.
Right.
And which so I get that.
I had it on PC. So I did have bugs though on PC.
But when people start losing their minds about 30 frames per second,
Yeah.
oh, this is just undoable, guys. What is going on?
I
Why?
thought,
I was like, Dead Rising, going back to there. It was like when that game came out was only 30 frames per second, even though 60 FPS
yeah.
could have been hit on computers, at the time. It's just like we weren't caring about that. We were caring about, oh my God, the replayability on this is amazing. Oh, I could use these weapons. Oh, this, that, and the other. There was so many other things that
Yeah.
kept the games interesting. And even whenever it was just like a very linear game and just which I don't know if games were as story driven then as they are now.
Uh, I don't know. I think there was it seems like to me, though a lot of games that are like PlayStation kind of either is exclusive or has the market on them more or less seem to have more story, and then
Mhm.
Xbox was big on like Halo and stuff like that, so they were like
They were big on
less.
replayability
Yeah, and um
because they relied on it. Let's be real.
yeah. And God, I don't know. I think there is, I mean, overarching beyond gaming, there's like a culture of like arguing. That seems like a big like having a beef with something seems to be what gets clicks and stuff like that. So I wonder
And
if
maybe that makes people genuinely happy, or
like
or
beefing with stuff.
or yeah, or just feeling something. Just
Hmm.
like there's some people who want to see certain game developers like
Burn.
fall, or there's certain people who are so biased towards a certain game developer that they'll be like can do no wrong kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it's like when you go from just playing the games to start analyzing every little detail about these companies and how they operate, that's whenever you stop having fun a lot of the time with those games.
Yeah, and I mean, is the reason you're pissed at a game because like a person you follow on whatever platform pissed at it and now you have to be, or
Mm-hmm.
you're you're contrarian or
Have you
something?
ever played a game? Tell us. Okay, tell us now. You can tweet at us, hit us up on Instagram, even come to the YouTube video and tell us if there's ever been a game that you just don't like, but you've never actually played. It's okay to be honest. I mean, y'all heard me. I've tried to play Witcher 3. That thing has
Mhm.
gotten Game of the Year, and I just cannot get into it. You know,
Oh, I'm
there will be
curious.
no judgment in the comments, and if there is extreme judgment on anyone in the comments, we will deal with you personally.
Um, I'm curious of like, is there a game you haven't played but has been like ruined in your mind and you won't play it? Or is there anything like that for you, do you think?
A game I've never played, but just been ruined for me. I think. Okay, oddly enough, so I said it earlier. Silent Hill 2 was one of my favorite games of all time.
Hmm.
The Silent Hill 2 remake is coming out, and I will never play the remake. I've already made it in my mind. I just
Hmm.
am not interested in playing it. And I'm partially because of how Konami has handled Silent Hill in the past. And I'm fully expecting them to just ruin it.
Hmm. That's
Because there's just
interesting.
there I was like, there's no way the same Konami that made the magic that was Silent Hill 2 can
Yeah.
handle doing it again. Because what, remaking something like Resident Evil 2 like was so great because Capcom has become very, very I don't know, like good at what they do.
Hmm.
Konami has not improved in years. So it's just like I don't
That's
think it's
interesting.
there.
I'm trying to think for myself. There's a couple 3D Sonic games that I refuse to play on principle because 3D Sonic games are not as good as the platformer ones.
Really?
But overall, um, I
I like
don't
Sonic '06. Full transparency. I think it's fine.
I don't know if I played that. I my favorite is the Advance series. The three that came out for the Advance were the best Sonic games. Nintendo remaster them, please. Since they're
Stop
releasing a ton.
summoning them. They're going to pull up and
I've
they're
said
going
it
to
twice.
kill us.
I won't say it again. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any game. I remember before Fallout 76 came out, it was getting so much criticism. Like just an absolute massive amount of criticism. I posted pretty consistently, um, like play the game before you make your opinion. Like it's not even out, like and there was a few things that happened with like the stupid bags and all of that. That's separate from the game itself. That's on like the merchandising side
Yeah.
of things. That's not the game. Those are different companies that manage those two different things under one
And
parent
then you have
company
the people who will bully those people for
who
letting
play
that
it.
who play it. Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
just like
it's crazy. Still.
it's like, why
And
is that necessary? Play real Fallout. How about you play Fallout New Vegas? And it's like, I listen, I love New Vegas. I love Fallout 3. I love Fallout 4. My favorite Fallout is New Vegas. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like Fallout 76 isn't fun. I do
no,
enjoy Fallout 76.
especially for circling back, playing with friends. Like it's
Yeah.
another game that gave you the opportunity to do that.
And you know how many people are going, Starfield better be co-op or I'm not interested. I'm like, what in the world makes you think? And I'm so blown away by people's thought process. It's like after y'all did what y'all did with Fallout 76, do you
Yeah.
think they want to touch another co-op game anytime soon? No. Go
Well, they're
play
still
Fallout
releasing
76.
updates for 76 too,
Yeah.
so
It's
and
like go
DLC,
play
so
Fallout 76 or go play ESO.
right.
It's like let them focus on their bread and butter, which is storytelling, concise
Hmm.
storytelling, which it's like it's pretty good. It's like I don't know, in terms of world building, I've never felt like disappointed by a Bethesda game, and it's just like it baffles me a lot of the time, and like in terms of that echo chamber thing, like so many
Yeah.
people going, oh, Starfield, it's No Man's Sky. It's No Man's Sky. I'm just like, I'm sitting here listening to this. I'm like, dude, I was like, No Man's Sky is about exploration,
Hmm.
period, exploration. I said, Starfield is about the player experience. It's an RPG. It's like, I haven't played it yet, and I'm sure it's going to be a very similar experience to previous Bethesda RPGs like Fallout. like Skyrim.
Right.
You name it.
I mean, they know what they're doing with that in that regard too.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like they're trying something new, and I get it. People are like, I
yeah,
don't want this. I wanted Skyrim 2, which makes me laugh because people will genuinely say that and not realize it's Elder Scrolls 6.
yeah.
And it's just like, whatever. Or I wanted Fallout 5. And I'm just like,
Or New
this is,
Vegas
I was
too.
like,
I keep hearing
this
that
is,
as well.
this is how you keep people in a box. This is exactly why we'll never get some kind of spin off Fallout game
Yeah.
again,
No.
or we're
I
not
mean,
going to get another
I
Red Guard.
yeah, there is definitely I mean, in so many different everythings, but there's an echo chamber within gaming, and having a contrarian position in people's minds is so controversial, and or supporting a company. Like, I think you and I both, overall, if something is very wrong, we will say it, but overall,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a beef with Bethesda. We like
Yeah.
them a lot,
It's like people
and
have
sometimes
favorite
people get
teams,
mad about
dude.
that,
It's like people have favorite teams. But even I can admit the Denver Broncos sucked this year. It's like there's nothing wrong with that.
You're a Broncos fan. I'm surprised by this.
Yeah. I don't know. I was
Hmm.
born a Broncos fan. It was before I
You
even met
didn't
my
have a
dad.
choice.
Yeah. No, it was like before I even met my dad at 20. He was a Broncos fan. And I was like, "You a
Interesting.
Broncos fan?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a Broncos fan." I was like, "Oh, I guess it's not really a preference. It's just in your blood."
Yeah. My dad is from Chicago, Illinois, and I am legally obligated to root for every single Chicago team, or I'm thrown
Bears,
into the river.
Cubs,
Yeah.
Bulls.
Yeah. Not the White Sox. He's a Cubs fan. Um, the Blackhawks, of course. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I can't, like, I was shocked to hear criticism of Dead Island after it came out. I mean, playing it, you and I had a ball. Maybe
Yeah.
your friends are boring, and that's the problem. Maybe you need a better group of people to play with.
If you need a group, leave it down in the comments. Go to the
Yeah,
video and be like, "Hey, I play on this system. Hit me up. Make some
yeah.
friends."
Share them gamer tags, have some fun. Because I don't know, I think it's fun, and I have no issue with it. I I am waiting for the island element to happen, like you said, that maybe there will be a series of earthquakes that push the little bit of the Pacific plate into the ocean. I don't know, as someone with a geology background, that can happen that quickly, but it's a video game. Um, I don't know.
Just,
It's interesting though. I wonder. God, now I wonder.
I mean, that's how you isolate a zombie apocalypse is if you just separate it from the rest of America.
That would put me where I'm sitting right now in the ocean, because I'm on the Pacific plate right now,
Mm,
where I'm at in California.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
I'm,
I'm on the wrong side of the San Andreas for that one.
I'm right in the middle. I'm
20
sorry.
minutes that way. Um,
God, I'm right in the middle. Jesus.
of the of North America. There, God, this is a major aside. The earthquake capital of the US is like 20 minutes from me. It's just like literally right smack on the San Andreas fault. And there's a little sign, and it's like, now entering the North American plate, which I think that's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
Super extra fun fact. I studied earth science in my undergrad schooling. That was my major, and we did a lot of labs. And then on the San Andreas, you can literally go to like a creek, and on one side it's the Pacific plate, on the other side it's the North American, and on one side it's green, the rocks, and on other side it is tan. It's two different
Really?
types of rock, which I don't know. I think that's cool. I'm a nerd.
That is pretty cool.
So
I do like that.
yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'll
So
indulge that.
do it. I don't know. I don't know what else I have to say about this game, but to
It's
the
like we haven't beat
audience,
it yet, so
no,
we can't really
we
fully
don't.
say if we
Yeah,
absolutely hate it. I don't think I hate it. I'm just having fun.
I like it. It is, get a group of friends together to play with, because I think that is the element that makes this game a lot more interesting. Is messing around with friends And you know,
Nothing really sends like a message whenever you hit a zombie in the air and then your friend drop kicks that zombie in midair. Like
yeah.
it's like
Did we
wow,
do that?
yeah, it was like John Wick. It was pretty cool. I'll
Yeah.
see. Hopefully I did record that part.
Okay.
I'll
I hope
have to
so
see.
too. We had some element. I drop kicked myself from a second story balcony into a kiddie pool. Good times. We kicked somebody out of a window. Good times.
We jumped out of windows. We did a lot of jumping out of windows. It was fun.
Yeah, don't jump from too high up in that game. That's my
And
warning.
the thing
You
is,
gave me
too
that
high
warning,
up is like second floor, second
which is
story,
sad.
which is
Yeah.
weird. I've jumped off
Yeah.
of buildings and lived.
Oh my God. At this age or younger?
Younger, like
Okay.
19.
Yeah, I don't know how I would do this age.
That was
My
10 years
shins would
ago.
give out.
Jesus. my my freaking shins would bust through my kneecaps.
Everything's downhill from 25 kids. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add about this game or any of the other stuff we touched on tonight?
I'll say this. If you think a game looks kind of fun, just play it.
Yeah.
Sometimes looking at a review beforehand can screw you over and make you miss out on a game that you might have really, really enjoyed. And then sometimes listening to really good reviews might end up causing you to buy a game that you had no interest in, and you just bought it because the reviews were good. You know, it's just you go by your own taste. You are a unique human being living a unique life catered specifically to you. Sometimes listening to everyone, even listening to me right now, might lead you astray. You know, just remember, take care of yourself. Do what you want to do.
Yeah. I like it. That's good advice for life and for video games. It's deep for video games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's cap it off, kid.
All right, let's cap it off. What do we say?
I don't know. What kind of soda are you gonna drink this week? What's the new soda? Give us a soda flavor.
Are you a every single flavor all at once kind of person?
Oh, like at a gas station?
Yeah.
Depends. I figured out. I'll tell you this much. Back whenever I was a server and we didn't have Dr. Pepper, that if you mix root beer with Coca-Cola, very specifically, you can get Dr. Pepper flavor and trick these stupid customers.
You know what they do for ginger ale?
What?
They do something similar. They do Sprite and a little splash of Coke for the color. People can't tell.
They can't.
Yeah.
I guess what that means is tastes can be artificially made, and you can be gaslit into believing something.
is there? Yeah.
Hashtag don't get gaslit. Hashtag stay flaccid.
It was Flaccid Army and now it's Stay Flaccid.
Yeah, Flaccid Army, rise up. Stay flaccid.
Stay flaccid.
It all goes together.
Those both go together so well.
Hey, should that be our first merch? Stay flaccid, Flaccid Army. SFFA. SFFA? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that.
Oh my god.
The image? No image. It's just gonna be like a crew shirt. Just like a crew shirt. You know, on the back, SFFA.
I don't know how we came up with that. That was the last episode. If you missed it, we started a whole new branding, but beyond the sodas. Stay flaccid.
Stay flaccid. Well, I'm not gonna say that. Remember, don't feed the Jaguar.
That is all.
That is all.